Okay, to get started, I want to first explain that what I'm about to introduce may seem a little unusual, especially if you're just starting a language and you don't have a lot of vocabulary, obviously. You don't have a good understanding of the grammar, pronunciation is something that you're also working on. But I cannot stress enough the importance of also investing time in building your ability to have conversation in that language. And that is why I offer the following expressions as very important to know and to use as often as you can. So here we have the expressions I am, I have, I don't have, I like, I don't like, I see, I don't see, I can, I cannot, I know, I don't know. I think that, I know that, I want, I need, and I feel. Um, these are very basic ways to communicate, but based on the vocabulary that you gradually acquire, you can actually use these very basic conversation frames or starters to have more sophisticated and versatile conversations in the language that you're learning. So for me, in French, it's je suis, j'ai, je n'ai pas, j'aime, je n'aime pas, je vois, je ne vois pas, je peux, je ne peux pas, je sais, je ne sais pas, je pense que, je sais que, je veux, j'ai besoin de, je sens. So just as a disclaimer, because I'm a beginner, maybe some of those pronunciations aren't as accurate as they can be. But again, as a student, I'm just also sharing with you what I'm currently able to do. With these expressions, these high frequency and high versatility expressions, you can add very basic high frequency vocabulary to these conversation starters or frames in order to have better and more meaningful conversations. So, based on these expressions, there are a core set of words or nouns that fit into so many different situations that by having these expressions plus those core set of vocabulary words, you will be able to navigate the language that you're learning at a much faster rate than if you were to just focus on the traditional way of learning vocabulary or a language. In addition to those verbs, it's important to know the following requests. Please say it again. Please speak slowly. Please tell me. And please show me. These are particularly important because what you're trying to do is you are trying to communicate in your target language what you need and want so that you can further progress in your target language learning. One of the enduring understandings is that proficiency in a language is greatly dependent on ability to navigate and sustain a conversation. Also, language communication is a social activity, so you should learn and study a target language in a social way. What I mean by that is you shouldn't learn language decontextualized or in isolation. You should set it up so that your learning is in a social manner, meaning it requires more than one person to engage in a language conversation. So ultimately, ideally, you would want to have a native speaker or somebody to practice with when you practice your target language. But sometimes that is not a privilege or a luxury that everyone has. So there are other methods that you can use so that you can have an interactive language experience. One of those things is you could record yourself, either video or audio, and you can play the roles of more than one person. That way, there is a social activity element to your learning. And that is why expressions such as these requests require interaction between more than one person. So in French, this would be dis-le encore, s'il te plaît, parle doucement, s'il te plaît, dis-moi, s'il te plaît, montre-moi, s'il te plaît. So by understanding and being able to use these versatile requests, whenever I want to learn more about a particular word or something about the language through my interactions with another person, I will be able to use French to learn more French. And that is the watered down version of what I think is the goal, is for you to fully communicate in your target language. So your language practice should include communicating fully in that language, so that it includes proactively asking questions, which we will go over next, responding, which is what we just looked at before with the verbs, communicating requests, which is what we're talking about now, and expressing abilities and limitations related to your language knowledge. For example, if you want to communicate in your target language that you know how to do this, but you don't know how to do something else, or if you want to communicate that you you don't understand this word, you can communicate in your target language your limitations and your abilities instead of just focusing on vocabulary or simple expressions. Your goal is to be fully conversant, or at least proficient in some way, to be able to communicate back and forth what it is that you can do, what it is that you want, what it is that you need, and what it is that you can't do. And I don't think there's a lot of practices out there where people are communicating these more sophisticated um, types of language functions.